Welcome. My name is Carl Schroeder. Many of you know me. I'm a spiritual teacher by passion, by design. That's what I do. I love to learn about the living, loving universe and share what I learned with others. So yeah, I'm not a person who puts myself on a pedestal. A lot of people do that or try to turn into some kind of business what they are getting from the universe. Yeah, I want my needs met, but first and foremost, my passion is just to share with you how the universe works. People come to my classes, my meetups. I have a sort of equivalent of church on Sundays I run online, and a lot of people are guided there. They say, like, you know, I was told to be here, and then I say things that really resonate for them. So I know that I connect with certain people, and if I don't connect with you, then just move along, because that's what life is really about. Is finding where you belong, where you connect with. It turns out that every consciousness is in its own reality. That's just the way it works. Every consciousness creates its own copy, its own version of everything. And so all of these old paradigm ideas that we're somehow stuck with each other, that we're stuck in the same reality and we've got to convert and convince each other to do the same thing, it's just not true. And in fact, that's a source of a lot of the negativity, because as soon as you think that somebody has to be in your life, but they don't share your values, and not even to the point of like harmonious diversity, but actually like adversarial conflict, what are you going to do? Well, if you understand that every consciousness has its own universe, its own bubble of energy, as it were, you can let them go. Let people come and go in your life easily. The real paradigm, the way things really work is that people come in and out of your life to show you examples of choices, of different lifestyles, and you choose. You use that feedback. Don't try to change other people. Change yourself. That's what moves you through the multiverse. It is effectively a multiverse. It is a universe of universes. Each one of us is the primordial essential universe, and we have at our disposal all options. That's the nature of free will. And the nature of reality is to reflect to us all of our possibilities, all of our options, especially in terms of the next thing we could work on. So a lot of people, you know, they're stressed in these ascension times. There's a lot of conflicting tribes and conflicting belief systems that threaten war and threaten scary stuff, and they want to be loud. The negative belief systems, what characterizes negativity is saying like things that don't belong. I'm not going to go chasing the things that I love and prefer to do. I first got to get rid of all the things I don't like. Well, if you're into the law of attraction and how spirituality and energy work, you understand that every state of being can only grow itself. Any actions will grow the state of being that you're already in. So people who think that if they just get rid of all the bad guys or all the wrong things for them, and then someday they'll be able to like be happy and, you know, live peacefully, they're wrong, because that state of being of trying to get rid of the wrong things for you, you're just going to always have more things to get rid of. Consciousness sees through its own eyeglasses. You know, you see the way you think. You see your own paradigm. So you really need to find what is true for you and grow with that, go with that. So then how do you deal with the conflicts in the world? Well, you let them be feedback. You let them show you examples of either people you admire and things you want to be more like, or people you see like, that doesn't work for me, and I'm not going to judge them. Just, you know, go in peace. But I got it. I got the difference between us. I'm going to work more on my values. That's what we need to do. That's how you let conflict come and go in your life, and you learn to get beyond conflict once and for all. Because the future is not about increasing good and evil. That's what we're seeing in the world today on my earth at this time in 2025. We're seeing this big, like, you know, battle between the forces of good and evil, which is really promoted by negativity as a way of seeing things. But in fact, it's about a time of learning how to take feedback from the universe, learning once and for all that reality is not to be controlled. Reality will never fully agree with you. There are even like very, very well-intentioned, nice people who are saying, well, if we just get everyone meditating and enough people meditating, that everybody else will be forced to the good energy. If we just enough people, the 100th monkey effect, this kind of stuff is a real peeve for me. Or people who say, like, you are another me, we are all one. There's a oneness that we all come from, but we're also meant to individuate. Don't try to force, square pegs in round holes or vice versa. Don't try to force everyone into the same groups. Keep individuating yourself. Keep understanding, like, yeah, people who cross my path, I am going to connect with them. I'm going to relate to them. They are fellow beings who deserve to exist every much as I do. However, these people demonstrate something that I resonate with. I got to find my connection to all those people in my reality. And that is the connection that I will go away with. So it's okay to project. You see a lot of people projecting in the world, saying like, well, you're the bad guys that I keep obsessing about, and you're the good guys, and this and that. And you realize they're making caricatures. They're making very shallow, judgmental assessments of people. But that's based on consciousness. It's natural to project what you're looking for, what you're expecting. So let that work in your favor. Don't punish people or chase them down or fight and argue with them just because they aren't exactly what you were expecting or wanting them to be. Just realize that whatever your reaction was to somebody, okay, that's about yourself. That's about me. If I see somebody in the positive case, somebody I'm highly attracted to, like as a colleague, as a partner, as a friend, whatever. When you get really excited about somebody, you're like, oh my God, we can do amazing things together. Well, what's happening there is there's something about them that resonates with a part of yourself. So it's a kind of soul retrieval. I was talking about this Sunday with my group, that it's a kind of continuous soul retrieval we need to do to find what people meant to mean to ourselves, and then take that in and refine our own values, refine our own choices, and let people go. Let people be far more complex and multidimensional than simply a simple mirror reflection. People talk about, there are different metaphors to use in life. So saying reality is a kind of mirror. It shows you things about yourself. Yes, but it's also a kind of living mirror where the reflections are actual beings. That's because there's only consciousness to create anything out of. So yes, you will meet reflections that point to things about yourself, but you also need to let them go as soon as you get the message they carry for you, because they are their own beings on their own path. Let them go, because then if they choose to stay with you, it's out of their own free will. That saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, then it's yours. It's true, and it's not yours in the sense of you own it, but it's your community. Like-minded people travel together simply because they keep thinking and choosing the same kind of thing. Isn't that what you really want? You don't want people that you've somehow forced and intimidated to do what you want. You want people who genuinely share your values and genuinely want to do, for their own reasons, great things with you. And that's how people grow. That's the synergy of systems that work together. So I'm saying some of this because here it is. It's the beginning of summer 2025. And on Friday, the day of the solstice, the longest day of the year, right? So, yes, the longest day of the year, that's what it is. And it came to me, this essay that I want to read. Now, the goal is that we're all going to channel our true selves. We're all going to channel our own souls. Now, some people have specialized, because everybody has different soul specialties, certain gifts to offer the earth, to offer the community. Some people have channeled amazing entities, like beings from other dimensions who have amazing wisdom, gifts of growth and perspectives on how best to work with the universe to give to us. I really appreciate them. One of them, for example, is Bashar. Another one is Lazarus. He really helped me a lot in my 20s when I first had a big spiritual awakening after college. So it's actually been decades that I've been learning to work with my soul, take my own guidance. So call it what you will, but it's your version of the universe. You are the universe experiencing yourself through your perspective. So you have all the full force and wisdom, the full power and wisdom and love of the universe backing you up. Inside of you, you have all solutions available to you to apply to your own life. So find what works for you and let other people go as they come and go in and out of your life, showing you things about yourself as you react to them. But let them go, let them go. And so negativity is all about clinging to people, clinging to ideas of who they are. Are they good or bad? The bad guys we should get rid of. The good guys, we work with them to profit in some way. And so there's a lot of exploitation going on. And what's happening now in the world is, it's a very intense time. I've had to work through a lot of fears myself, and I want to help people around me who really good, wonderful people, but because they're still hooked into those old paradigm ideas that we're all stuck in one reality. There won't be peace until everybody agrees to peace. Well, good luck with that. I mean, reality is fundamentally meant to show you a range of options. You will never get everyone to agree to peace in a world of major conflicts. However, once you work out the conflicts in yourself and make peace with the fact that there are those who don't want peace, you can move more into a reality where you do meet people who all agree on peace, but then you'll have further refinements of diversity. The people who want to work with the earth and on for peace over here, and those who want to work over here. So you're always refining where you belong. It's just that instead of a world of good versus evil and major conflicts, you can move into a world of good versus better, where your way is good for you, my way is better for me. You can have harmony of diversity, which is how some of the greatest cultures on earth have been founded, and how the United States, which is where I'm from, where I'm living at this time, the United States built a lot of based on ideals and principles of harmony of diversity, respecting and protecting the free will of all people. We've had a great culture develop. We've always had problems, though, absolutely. And now the problems have come back to haunt us, the people who never wanted peace, who never wanted harmony of diversity, who always wanted racism, who always wanted, supremacy of certain groups and blame and point the fingers at other groups. Why? Because they've given up on love. Love is the caring and the cooperation. And if you think that makes you weak, if you think that caring and cooperation makes you vulnerable to people who take advantage of you, then, like many people, you give up on love and you just focus on being cruel, being threatening. That's how I get people to do what I want. So let the major culture wars divide the planet. You are not going to see, don't even try, you're going to stress yourself out to try to work for major agreement. Everybody wants peace. No, there'll be those who want war, and we're seeing that come out more and more. And there are those who want peace, and don't miss it. There are amazing, magical things going on. It's just that the people who want conflict and war, by nature of them wanting to be bullying and intimidating, they're going to be really loud. They're going to try to convince you we're the only thing around and you've got to fear us and obey us and give us your power and that sort of thing. It's not true. It's not true. Just, again, take the reflections and find the values in yourself that you need to strengthen. If you're wondering what to work on, look around. It's okay, I don't want to be like those people. Yeah, you're right. So focus on being more of the person you really want to be. Be the change you want to see in the world. And that is what protects you. That is what actually guides you to work more and more consciously with your future self, your higher self, your soul, your spirit guides, God, Goddess, great creators, great spirit, whatever you want to call it. Many, many names, many parts to the universe that is you, the universe. So you have a paradise. You have a heaven already waiting for you. You're learning to experience it. You're learning to grow your consciousness so you understand how all the pieces fit together. So I'm just riffing a little bit because what I really want to do is I want to read this flow essay that came to me Friday. It was wonderful. It's it's the first day of summer. That's why this is all coming to me. And it was a wonderful encapsulation, this essay I want to read. And it's a wonderful encapsulation of many of the ideas that I need for myself. I'm a human being. Every one of us is both spirit and human. The human experiences the belief system choices. The spiritual side of us steps back and evaluates, like, was that good for myself? Was that good for my community? Maybe I need to change some choices, change some beliefs. You go back and forth between spirit and human, become a spiritual human. The problem is people who don't really go into the understanding that the energy is what's real, the spiritual choices, the belief system, that's what's real. And this material reality out here, that's just a shadow play. That's like empty containers. Like, people bring their own energy to every situation. So when you see people who are radically different in their energy, but they happen to be in the same room, so you think, your old beliefs say, like, you got to get along with them or else they're a threat to you. No, let it be that your energies are far apart because your realities are far apart. You're really, only at the very surface overlapping, but guided by your spirituality, you will find your path that is safe through the world, and you will make the best use of everything, and you will learn your life lessons. Whereas those people who are focused on getting rid of the bad guys, getting rid of the bad stuff first, thinking that someday they'll be able to be safe and happy to have a good life, but they'll never get there because they never finish trying to get rid of the bad things. Those people, they're going to suffer until they decide they hit their own rock bottom and they turn around. Don't try to convince anyone. Just focus on your own path. So I focus on my own path, and I've gotten better at appreciating and allowing when my own wisdom channels when it comes through. So I write this wonderful essay for the first day of summer 2025, and I'm feeling really good about things. And I find out, well, how did other people celebrate? Well, the people who want war, they're trying to start World War III. The president of the United States currently, who's rather quite the dictator, he's very obsessed with getting rid of bad things. He dropped some bombs in the Middle East that was already, a tinderbox. And a lot of people, a lot of really nice people are really, really scared. I don't feel scared. I feel very concerned to keep understanding the principles, the patterns that are going on, and share my insights with other people. I've had this happened before, though, where it just exactly when I'm having a peak moment with my soul, with my spirit, with my higher self, at the same time, other forces in the world are doing something really awful. January 6, 2021, that was the day that the current president, who's back, he tried to start an insurrection. He tried to overthrow the government of the United States just because he didn't win the election. The other guy won, and for a while there we had 4 years of reasonable, a reasonable politician who's like trying to work for the unity of the country, the good of the people. So I'm not trying to bash and diss and go into politics here. I'm just the basic points of like that January 6th, you know what I was doing? I had one of the best days of my life. I was recording a video for the first time outside. I went to a favorite lake of mine and found a nice spot in the woods by the water, and I was just recording an introduction to reuse some material that I'd recorded back in 2012. 2012, if you'll recall, that was supposed to be a big year. That was supposed to be, when reality somehow changed and whatever. Stuff about Aztec calendars or Incan calendars, Mayan calendars, that's it, Mayan calendars. But anyway, in that video back in 2012, I talked about how one of my past lives is Hildegard of Bingen. That is the Mandela you're seeing right here. This is her vision. Often her visions were drawn by other nuns in her abbey. So I don't know exactly who drew this, but it shows 9 circles of angelic beings. If you study theology, you know that there are angels and archangels, there are seraphim, there are thrones, there are cherubim, and so on. And people tap into those levels of consciousness. It's amazing. It's all real. When you work with love, the whole universe opens up with just an infinite variety of wonderful, amazing beings. It's an endless world to explore. It reminds me of a classic kind of culture war contrast when I was growing up was Star Wars versus Star Trek. I loved Star Trek, okay? It's about adventure, the trek, and Star Wars, okay, it had some exciting, special effects and aliens and stuff like that, but it's basically like endless war. So do you want endless war or do you want endless adventure? And I'm not dissing like any particular sci-fi franchise. You know, everything in the culture is so complex. You can find good and bad things about anything. The point is, though, the general idea of like, I want endless adventure. I don't want endless war. So yeah, I want to address the fact that I want to read this essay, and it's humbling for me. I'm still getting used to the fact that I can get an amazing flow. I feel the love of the universe. I get spirit tears. It's like, oh, when you feel that weeping ecstasy and joy and you're so loved, that's real. You can't fake that energy. And I'm feeling that on Friday, and I write this, and then the next day I read it when I'm in more of my regular human self, and I've heard how like some people are trying to start a war. And I'm not in the same energetic space, and I'm more skeptical. It's like, well, I really like what I wrote here, but is anybody else going to understand it? Is there any place for me in the world? Oh no, like I've got to like work harder to make people, you know, all of the sort of economic advice of like, you know, build demand and educate your consumers and build a business and all this stuff. And you get very manipulating, like trying to please others and jump through hoops, and you become less of yourself and more of a machine trying to fit into, you know, this bigger machine. So yeah, the next day after I wrote this, I'm like much more insecure, and I'm in my human self, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And then I thought, you know, like my higher self guiding me, like, just be honest. Like this is what people need to see, you know, to have a foot in both worlds and to be evolving with the paradigm. It's like, it can be challenging to be human. You go into your human current reality and you have an emotional read on it. That's what emotions are for, to get some feedback on what's going on. And then you step back as a spirit, caring about yourself, loving yourself, caring about the people around you. So you love people adequately so that you're not hurtful to anyone, but primarily you're looking to really take care of yourself. I mean, if everybody did that, the world would be fine, right? So yeah, I just wanted to make this video, see what happens, and address the fact that being human can be tough. You can have these high spiritual ideals and then how to apply them. And even a person like me, I've had decades of spiritual mystical experiences, tapping into my other lifetimes. Basically, primarily, I have been theologians and philosophers, pretty far out, pretty visionary, creative types, who just really trying to explain how to connect with the source. But really, it's for me too. I'm trying to figure out how to connect with the source. So, you know, I channel things that are for me, and then I want to share them. And that's the source. That's the source of prosperity. That's how to really like prosper and be safe in the world. Is just be more of yourself. Be more of you. Don't focus on pleasing others, changing others, trying to fit into a culture that doesn't even understand you. Don't feel bad that no one else quite understands you. You need to understand yourself. It's an ongoing journey to enjoy the world within you. Like, I have really close, dynamic, you know, vivid, intimate, amazing relationships with many parts of myself. Other lifetimes, all time is simultaneous. Other lifetimes, it's not really sequential in reincarnation. The other lifetimes of your soul, it's more like alternate versions of you. They're like siblings. And you're like, it's fantastic to like share ideas and compare notes of like, what are you doing in your life? Here's what I'm doing in my life. So, and then to work with your parts of yourself in this lifetime, your inner child, your inner teenager, your adult self, your different aspects of your hobby self, your relationship self, your partying self, your creative self, all these selves, all these versions of your consciousness. What holds them together is that you are one soul. You are one version of the universe with amazing gifts to give. What you care about most, that's the point of following the path of your life energy, allowing people to cross your path, taking the feedback of what they mean to you, what reactions you have. Bless them and let them go. Thank you for showing up with whatever you exemplify to me. What someone means to you isn't what they may mean to somebody else. Obviously, like, there are dictator types in the world that, to me, they mean the negative ego, like the survivalist self who's really dangerous. We all have one. To other people, they could be, a parent figure, a father figure that they're going to trust blindly. I know that they're going to be betrayed someday, but they don't know yet that. So I'm not going to argue with what things mean to different people. You want to try to figure out what things mean to you. Choose more of your values, become more of your soul, the deeper self that it feels really good to be the real you. And as I said, you connect more with your parts of your soul, and you connect more with compatible souls, other people who are sharing the path. It's like, oh, you're going the same way as me. All right, let's go together. This is the real universe. So Earth is going through a difficult time right now. And I want to fully acknowledge that. I mean, I still want to read this essay, but I want to just riff a little bit more on this point that, yeah, there are people who really want World War III. It's a scary time. Bashar, he's a channeled entity, a lot of great material, how to take responsibility for reality creation. And he's actually of an ET race that has certain genetic connections to the Earth. And I believe he's the future self of a future self, another part of the soul of the guy who channels him. Anyway, Bashar, rather famously, last fall, 2024, somebody was pushing him like, can you make predictions about the U.S. election, which was between, this woman who was like really for human rights. That was her career path, to be a lawyer for human rights, and really stood for, defending the Constitution and making society more fair and healthy for everyone, versus the guy who wants to come back to power, and all he can talk about is getting back at his enemies. And there are all these people who think he's great because, well, frankly, they haven't figured out yet that love is what matters. And having grown up in abusive families where a lot of, meanness, toughness is venerated, that's not the way to go. So people were asking him, Bashar, can you say anything about the U.S. election? And Bashar generally doesn't make any predictions, just emphasizes like, look, any prediction is only going to be a tendency of where things are going. You need to work with your life. You need to make your own choices. You can change the future at any time. We all exist in an eternal now where the timeline is constantly shifting around us, depending on our own energy. So get in the best energy. Be the best person you can be. That's what protects you. But Bashar made the unusual sort of semi-prediction. It's like, really, it's kind of obvious. But he said, okay, well, here's what I can say about the U.S. election coming up. If the woman leads, if the woman wins, it's going to lead to open contact, meaning friendly, amazing connections with ET races acknowledged at the highest levels of government. If the man wins, it's going to be leading to the destruction of the United States and World War III. And I know a lot of friends of mine were freaked out by that. And I just kept emphasizing, like, look, he said that's what it leads to. And it's obvious. You already know. He's just kind of validating how serious this choice is. But for me, election is not a one-time thing. You don't just like give your power to an election and then see who wins, and that's who you're stuck with. Every single day I am voting for, the right actions in my heart. And for me, the woman won. For me, in my heart, I feel very connected with the parallel reality where the woman won. So why am I still in this reality where the guy wins, who wants to have world domination in World War III? He wants to destroy the United States for his personal gain. It's not a hard thing to guess. It's easy to see. It's just a lot of people don't want to believe it. That's too hard to believe. Like, could someone be that betraying? Yes, they could. So I had to wonder, like, why am I still in this reality? I had done a lot of personal work to be ready for the reality where things are going much more smoothly. But what I realized was after the guy got elected, it's like, oh, I'm still thinking in terms of like kind of the good guys and bad guys, and it's like the reality splits along the collective lines. There will be those people who want a happy future, a healthy future, and those people who want a conflicted future, or a competing future world. And what I realize is like, no, there's I've got to get deeper with this fact that each of us is our own universe. I call it my tapioca model of reality, because I like tapioca as a kid. You know, little balls of this tapioca root and floating in this pudding. And so each of us is our own energy ball. We are in our own energy, and it's kind of like a sense around screen inside where we have this 3D virtual reality, and we're in the middle of it. But make no mistake, you're in your own energy. If you feel your energy is very different from someone, you have very different life paths. You have very different ways of seeing reality. You are effectively in different realities. So imagine that everybody is just their own ball of energy, and what's around the ball of energy? Your higher self. And what's connecting all the balls of energy is this ocean of the source energy. So let it be very fluid. As you become more of the person you really want to be, the universe changes around you. Absolutely. So with regard to predictions and trends, I just want to say a few things about the role of ETs, because Bashar is an ET. There are many other beings. There are angelic beings, there are nature spirits, there are ascended masters, there are simply beings from other dimensions who are here to help us. That's who Lazarus was, a channeled entity who helped me a lot in my 20s back in the 80s. So, dating myself there. Yes, so the point is that with the ETs, so ETs are a big influence. And yeah, there are all kinds of ETs, just like there are all kinds of people. But overall, ET races are very wise and intelligent, and the ones that are conflicted, they can't do a lot, okay? You tune into them energetically if you yourself are highly conflicted, but don't play psychic wars. Just love and get back to the center of who you really are, who you really want to be. So, ETs play a big role. And multiple sources have been saying the ETs are going to intervene in the spring of 2026. Like just, the monkey business, the conflict, the wars, the environmental destruction, it's not going to be allowed. It's not going to be allowed. The free will can be contained. There's free will is not endlessly, you can't do everything you want. Where free will really flourishes is when you realize who you really are, who your soul really is, and you consciously choose that. Free will is really a kind of predestination of an option to either be really happy and prosperous and healthy for the rest of your life as the true you, or be something else and be miserable. It's kind of a no-brainer choice, right? But people need to work it through, and as they work it through, try different false beliefs, they have different miserable outcomes. You learn more things about yourself. That's the bottom line, is that no matter what kind of mistakes, how badly people are reacting to their negative beliefs, going into survival personalities that are really dangerous to themselves and others, that negative ego, people are always growing. People are always learning. Obviously, if you choose positive beliefs that led through the divine principles of the universe transparently, you're going to grow a lot faster, a lot better, a lot healthier, a lot happier. But yeah, so I wanted to show you so here's one guy who's really standing out, taking a stand. UFO of God by Chris Bledsoe. He's in North Carolina, where I live these days. I grew up in the Boston area. And so I've met Chris a few times, and he's really sincere. He's really wonderful. This is like a best-selling international book. It's becoming a big thing. They're working on a movie. He's got an amazing message. In 2007, he had a really amazing contact experience with some UFOs. Some of his friends were with him and were absolutely freaked out. However, they went on to keep contacting him, and he came to understand that he was a kind of spokesperson for these beings. And he came from a religious background, rather, fundamentalist religion, and he saw them, felt them to be like Old Testament angels. And so right away he runs afoul of the fundamentalist community that he's a part. They're all like, you're working with demons. These are demons. And he's like, no, they healed my chronic disease he had, and they are, they're telling him things about a better future, and like, so he had run-ins with the fundamentalist community. So he's a representative of these, yes, Old Testament style angels to the religious community, and then also the military community. The military got very involved and came to like intimidate him and talk to him, and various branches of the military, the government, have met with him. And basically the message was always like, well, Chris, everything you're talking about, everything you saw, these ETs, we're not downing it. We know it's true. Okay, other people can call you crazy. We're not calling you crazy. We're telling you, like, this stuff. The thing that we want to know is, why do they like you? Why do they work with you? They won't work with us. The governments, they have a lot of information on the ETs, but the ETs don't want to work with them. They want to work with individuals who come from their heart. And that's what Chris's deal is. So it's an amazing book. And he's had a lot of miracles happen. Some people in the government have really become his ally because, these, in one case, I think it was the CIA director came and said his son was sick, and the ETs in Chris's head said, go, we can heal the child. So Chris just like does what he's told, gives the child a hug, and yeah, he's healed, and like that's it. Like, so there are high level people who know and believe this Chris's story, and there are other people who are trying to gather power, and they're like, tell us your secrets. Why do they work with you and not us? But the bottom line is, so the ETs, yes, Chris is a front man for a whole branch of ETs, and they tell him that the timeline is Easter 2026. Things are going to change. Things are not going to be allowed to get worse after 2026. So all the people who want to have domination and war, just go into your own reality. Don't worry about it. This is not a competition, okay? Everybody goes to their own reality in the multiverse. People who want peace, who want the ETs, the angelic forces, others to come and, stop the madness, stop the wars, like, stop the environmental catastrophe, start, helping humanity to thrive again. Yeah, they're coming. They're coming. And it's interesting that I know a friend of mine, completely independent, just had a mystic. He has his own experiences. He has full-on materializations of ETs come to him. And, like in his home, or when he was driving. I like this story where he said he was driving and a Lyrian, like these sort of cat people, materialized in his car seat next to him. It's like he can hear the being, he can touch him, he can smell him. It's like everything is right there. And so my friend is asking the guy, like, so what's it like to have a tail? Like, is it uncomfortable to sit, in a human seat? And the Lyrian is like, I came all this way to tell you amazing things, and you just want to know about my tail? It's like, so my friend has a lot of little sort of, funny kind of anecdotal, like, little ego battles with ETs, but basically they're training him like your soul is a diplomat for the earth, similar to Chris Bledsoe. And so completely independent, my friend had not read this book at all. He said, oh yeah, the ETs, they're telling me spring 2026, that's when they're going to intervene fully, and we're not going to allow the earth to be destroyed. We're not. And just one more point in this favor, I'll say my own personal experience. I definitely am a starseed. I connect with the mantis, these very benevolent, wise insect beings. People can be scared of insects, but don't worry. They're like praying. They look like beautiful praying mantis, and they are very wise and creative. They work a lot with the healing arts. They love art in general. They work with nature. Their technology is all very organic, interlaced with nature. Anyway, but the point being that, yeah, I've had a lot of dreams of mantis come to me and talk to me in lucid dreams. And I had this one dream in particular, not that many years ago, where I was walking around my childhood home. I have a lot of dreams that map to my hometown and what different areas of that place and that my house mean. And, you figure out the symbolism of things, the energy symbolism. Anyway, I'm going to the bathroom in my childhood home on the first floor. So that represents releasing something at the ground level, the human level. And all of a sudden, I get very lucid in the dream, and this voice is talking to my head. And it's saying, like, we're the ETs, and we are running the planet for humanity's benefit far more than people know. Like, we're not going to let people know because they'll get paranoid that you're making us do things. So it's like, no, but we want you to know, Carl, that you're safe. The planet is safe. We are running this planet. There are many times that, you know, the Earth could have been destroyed, and it's like luck was in our favor. Well, it's the ETs doing it. And so this ET is talking into my head and just wanted me to know that we're safe. The ETs are running things for humanity's benefit. And they said to me, Carl, you're ready to join us. Whenever you want, you're ready to join us. And I woke up from that dream. It's like, kind of like, you know, the ambivalence you have as a human being. It's like, oh, that sounds great. And then again, it's like, I don't know what that means. Stress, pressure. It's like, really, it's just be myself. That was one of the encouragements I had to do more of my spiritual classes, to come out with more of my materials. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to reassure people, like, yeah, there are people who want World War III. Separate yourself. Don't get stressed out thinking like everybody's supposed to agree for peace. How can you convince them? How can you not be overwhelmed by them? Just let it go. Just get clear on how your values can be very different from other people's values, and let them go. And rest assured, like, there are many, many higher beings who are really running reality behind the scenes for us, including, most of all, your own higher self, who's holding that ball of energy that you live within. And it can all work out. The only way that things don't work out is that you get so scared you don't be yourself, and you just spend a lot of time reacting to the people who do want conflict, who do want war. And they suck it up. They drink it up. I mean, there are a lot of people like, yeah, we're the only ones. Be scared of us. Don't fall for that, okay? Have your emotional responses. Like, I had one of my groups recently, this young woman, a friend of mine, she was saying, like, how do you people hold it together? Because she admitted, I mean, she's dealing with some mental illnesses, and which are really like her own psychic gifts, but they've been stigmatized, and she's really stressed out and kind of, you know, repressed. So she has a history of people telling her she's crazy, and she takes medication and all this stuff, and she's really stressed out. And she's like, how do you people hold it together? And I'm like, I don't. Some years ago, I realized, like, a lot of the stress is coming from me trying to control my own human emotions, my own human reactions. So don't control, but manage, okay? Don't vent like crazy, and also don't repress, but you manage. So I'm a big advocate for what I call emotion meditations. You set a 20-minute timer to just really get into the current feelings you're having, the thoughts that go with them and everything. But stay very energetic, stay very emotional, stay in your body, feel your emotions, any accompanying thoughts. Get in the present, get in the moment, like let go of like all the really mental, what could happen stuff. Feel what's happening. And I mean, if you're feeling a lot of fear because of what you're afraid might happen, yeah, you let go of that extrapolated future, but feel the fear, because the fear is here now with false beliefs. Don't be afraid of fear. Fear is simply pointing out false beliefs. So make use of fears. Make use of all your emotions. This is what I was explaining to her. It's like, I don't hold myself together. I let myself fall apart when I need to fall apart. But I do it in a managed, safe way. I don't like run out and confess myself to people that I can't trust. I did that a lot when I was young, and I got betrayed and hurt a lot. And then I thought, like, oh, I got to convert those people, and like all this, you go down these paths of trying to control relationships. No, just let it go. I'm much more at peace these days with, like, yeah, there are lots of people who never wanted, don't understand my spiritual experiences. That's fine. You're not my audience. You're not my community. I'm here for some of you. That's why I need to be fully honest. I'll talk about my past lives, other lifetimes. I talk about, how I work with my soul. I talk about what I know of what's going on. And most of all, I talk about the belief systems, because mastering the belief systems, that's what really enables us to be conscious creators, present, and then we can really find the communities we work together to heal the earth. The earth is ready and excited to help us grow. Quick anecdote, there was this one time that I was hugging a tree. Yes, I hug trees sometimes, a favorite tree. And I was kind of weeping in a tearful way, a sad way, not in an elated spiritual way, just like, oh, this tree, like, I'm so sorry for what we humans are doing to the earth, and I want to help the earth heal. And the tree spoke in my head. It's like, when something's speaking in your head, because it's like, that's not where I was going. That's not what I was thinking. Where did that come from? So all of a sudden I got the tree speaking in my head saying like, oh, Carl, you have it all wrong. You have it backward. You don't need to heal the earth. Let the earth heal you. It's like, it touches me even now as I think of it. It's like, it was a total paradigm shift. The earth is so much more powerful and stronger than people imagine. Yes, there's a lot of surface suffering going on, but it's really nature reflecting and being with humanity that is suffering the false belief systems. Make these paradigm shifts. Realize how much there's so much more to the universe that wants to help you to heal and grow. So let me get into this. I want to read this essay. I try to make a short video. They never turn out short. But I just want to read this essay. So, yeah, it's kind of prefaced by me chatting and sharing where I'm at. But then to also just read this as it is and see what we both get out of it. Because it's, the human me is trying to still wrap my mind around, like, I have these bigger parts of myself that are guiding me. And to trust that. The way you trust, just as an aside, the way you trust is that you align your consciousness with beings. That's what consciousness does. You overlap, you align with other beings, so you see and feel and think from their point of view. And then if that point of view is like, oh my God, it feels really bad here, I'm thinking about war and I'm scared of you, then pop out of there, like soul retrieve yourself, get back to your values. But when you align with higher beings and you feel like, oh my God, I feel the love, and like I'm seeing humanity and I'm seeing myself in a whole new way, like humans are so beautiful and amazing. It's like, that was my big spiritual awakening after college. It's like I had been getting quite cynical and scared of the world through high school and college. I had an okay childhood. My parents had PTSD from their traumas of their childhoods, but they did their best to treat me and my sister as well as they could, really loving, well-intentioned people, but not doing the full kind of inner healing that's needed. So anyway, my childhood was pretty nice, but a sense of like, there are scary things in the world. Something really traumatized my parents. Going through high school and college, like, oh my God, that's the stuff, learning about history and learning about politics and learning about how many people like really doing horrible things and don't seem to care. They're not in touch with their feelings. They don't trust their feelings. They might become vulnerable. Well, be vulnerable. Like I said, create safe spaces for yourself, those 20-minute emotion meditations. Oh, and the point is that you feel your feelings, you kind of squeeze it out dramatically, you satiate the part of you that was invested in a certain belief system, and then you let it go. At the end of 20 minutes, you sort of congratulate yourself. Good job for going through that human intensity, that human ordeal, that drama, whatever. And then treat yourself, kind of step back and be more of the spiritual being. It's like, I know what would be good for me. Take a walk, have a nice snack, sing a song, hug a pet, hug a tree, whatever. Something nice, something well within your means that would be very comforting and sweet. You're asserting that I can go through hell, but I want to get back to loving myself. I want to learn lessons. And then what happens is, from an emotion meditation, you do that basket case experience, you come out of it taking care of yourself. Later that day, I will have huge shifts of consciousness. I will align with higher beings and suddenly realize like, oh, like all that suffering I was going through, that's from old choices. I don't have to live that way anymore. I can make key changes in my life that will change everything. So you might have to do it a few times, and you might have to keep revisiting these emotions as the world events happen. But eventually you realize enough of your own energy that you're very secure in your own path, your own energy. And like I said, it's an illusion of this collective reality. It's just a very fluid sea of all these bubbles of energy and people coming in and out of view depending on your energy. So when you really tap into your energy, that's your anchor, that's your solidity, that's your grounding in the universe. That's how you connect to the universe, always taking care of you and guiding you. And then you're like, if you see something scary in the distance, you just process it. It's like, okay, thank you for reminding me I need to strengthen some of my positive values, some of my positive choices. And you connect more to your energy and your soul, and you meet more people who really belong with you. So that's where I'm at these days. I feel very confident, very, very much wanting to help people who are really stressed out, really, really nice people who really want to choose love and believe in love. But then why are all these horrible people in power? Well, they're not in power of your life. They're not in power of, they're only running their own lives, and they're trying to convince you to go along with them. You can only match energy with other people. Nobody forces you to do anything. So the more you master your energy, master your empathic tendencies to fall into people's energy just to like figure out where they're at and whether they can help you or you can help them or not. Like, master your energy flow so that you can go in and out of positions, evaluate, and become stronger and stronger with your soul, with your higher self, with your soul. So yeah, let's read this essay here. The truth doesn't hurt. I am writing this on the first day of summer 2025, a time to grow. So let's grow. You are always safe at home in the source, even now, in a reality story that includes culture wars. The scary hurt feelings you feel are real, but the situations that cause fear and hurt are unsustainably staged like cheap theater melodrama. It's my passion to teach people how the theater works, so you can become your own star in the best play for you. So there's a metaphor there, right? I remember back to Shakespeare. I was Robert Johnson. I was a lute player who was assigned by King James to come up with some music for Shakespeare. People don't realize, like, a lot of Shakespeare, there were musicals. There was music with it. So I worked with Shakespeare on the Tempest, like his last great philosophical work, and I feel like we influenced each other. So anyway, I just love, Shakespeare comes in my head. All the world's a play and a stage, and all the women, children, players on that stage, and much more. I mean, that's a popular quote. But anyway, I just feel very close to Shakespeare. So just an aside there. It's like, just everybody have fun discovering your connections up through your soul. So anyway, people who have near-death experiences, people who actually die and are medically revived, they do describe the afterlife. They do describe a real world of quantum fields and quantum energies. It's true, and there is an afterlife. There are these energies they talk about, but somehow, amazingly, beyond this troubled life, there is a spiritual place of totally comforting eternal love. What near-death experience people don't usually understand is why the physical earth seems so separate and so terrible. So often, near-death experiencers, they come back reluctantly with beliefs that they have to finish a hard mission that they signed up for. They have some meeting with guides in the afterlife, and they're convinced, like, you're not done, you need to go back. Like, but I feel such love here, I want to stay. And I haven't had a near-death experience, although that I remember. They say that I did kind of almost die when I was 2 years old, but I don't remember. That probably influenced my life. But I have tapped into the energy of amazing love. The whole room lights up. I'm surrounded by living light, and just in this ecstasy of so loving humanity and so being loved. So, the people who talk about near-death experiences, it's one of the areas in which many people are fascinated and learning a lot more about how life works. But you won't necessarily learn from them how wonderful the earth is. A lot of near-death experiencers are scared to come back. So let me get back to what I was reading here. So they come back reluctantly, and they think it's a hard mission here. Now, that is just one way to set up the play on the stage, with an implicit separation from paradise that creates a level of endless hurt. But as John Milton said in Paradise Lost, the mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. So yes, the earth is challenging to expand your consciousness, but the mission isn't that hard if you just follow the instructions in your heart. your heart. It tunes you into your passion, what you really care about, what you know, like an innocent child, like Jesus said, unless you be like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Have the innocence of a child. When you're a child, it's just like, I just want the world to be a lovely place, and I just want to do the things that excite me. That's the secret to life. Follow your heart, and your mind can then follow your heart. So the mission is to discover that you never leave heaven, and you can find heaven on earth. Time and space are just adding more moving parts to the heaven. So things must be well planned and choreographed to sync up here on earth. It's like a 3D virtual reality movie, and you are inside of it for a total immersion experience. So when the moments flow, the sensations of being in the physical earth are stunningly satisfying. This is what many spirits talk about. Abraham Hicks, another wonderful channeled entity, talks about the deliciousness of being fully physical. When you master reality creation, when you understand that this is generated by belief systems and you can choose the beliefs that work for you, you will be so satisfied, so happy to be physical on the earth, and you'll be like, oh, this is why I kept coming back. Until then, a lot of people think like, oh my God, I can't wait to have my last lifetime. Well, nobody is making us come back to earth. We keep coming back because the physical is a peak of living that we already plan to enjoy. As long as we're not yet in good communication with our own higher director selves, other friends of our truth will encourage us to stay in the game. I want to be a friend of yours who encourages you to stay in the game. Go back in there. Try it till you like it. Trust yourself. It's what you really wanted to do. Now, people who say they can't wait to make it their last lifetime, obviously they mean they make it their last suffering lifetime. Completely understandable. They want to end the suffering, but don't equate Earth as only being suffering. Incarnated living offers more intricately self-designed love and pleasures than the old belief-based afterlife, the afterlife where higher power is deemed that nothing bad can happen. Now, on the earth, you can be like a toddler who explores wildly, right? And you got a baby-proof, toddler-proof the house for a toddler. And babies, human babies, they need to be coddled and protected for extended womb time. Essentially, you know, human children are so complex, they ought to be like in the womb for 18 months, but the mother can't physically do that. So 9 more months outside of the womb, babies need to be really protected. So early infant abuse, like really, really traumatizing. But that's not the whole story. Those are just the belief systems. It feels incredibly real when you're human, but you got to keep reminding yourself and let the higher beings remind you, it's not all there is. The universe is good. Earth life can be a paradise. So be glad you're not a baby anymore. You're a grown adult who can keep your inner child selves safe by learning how the earth really works. Pull your greater self together. Be all your parts in eternal cooperative systems like nature demonstrates. Nothing good is lost because real growth is inclusively integrating. So everything you need and want is always here now. Look at the systems of the earth, ecosystems, or the systems of your own body. There's nowhere that it starts and ends. It just all works together. You can linearly study something through, like your digestive system, but the whole point of studying linearly, chronologically, building a story, a narrative of your consciousness, is to then reach a conclusion, a satisfaction, and step back and like, oh, now I appreciate the system, the total eternal now more than ever. So yes, every consciousness is their own perspective on everything, as a sovereign universe making decisions for how to experience itself. All universes are able to compare with other universes for ideas across the networking multiverse of a source that supports everyone's dramatic choices, going back to that play analogy. You are always safe in your soul's original play, working with your higher self, guided by your future self, and sharing joy with your own partner selves. Parallel friends, selves that are going the same direction you're going, are then to be found everywhere. Every consciousness is always experiencing its own energy, and that's why love is the answer. Empaths change their energy to match other people's emotions for some chance to love. So empaths do well to be present Feel those feelings and learn from the results so they can change their energy back to what they prefer. Don't get stuck there. If you have an empathic skill, maybe you need to work on your boundaries, but you're touching into people for a reason. Try to figure out, like, is it just to strengthen your own values, or maybe do a little something, send a blessing, send a prayer, maybe a message for that person. But yeah, empathic skills are very valuable, but you're not meant to get lost in other people's energy. Keep strengthening your own energy. People who pump out their fear and hatred toward each other, they will keep filling their own bathtub, their bathtub of energy, with more and more fear and hatred to feel, which false beliefs then say it's somebody else's fault, to keep the defensive reactions going. False beliefs explain things incorrectly, so you keep making things worse. Lies are the only real enemy here, and you can just disbelieve lies. You don't have to make them not exist. Just let it be that people can sample lies and figure out what's right for them and disbelieve a lie. Choose what you believe instead. Fear shrinks your consciousness to find your stable core, which has to be the love. People who love are surrounded by love in a real multiverse that they're free then to explore. So if your default is love, you're going to feel love, and you're going to meet those who love you, and it's easy, it's fun. If your default is fear with enemies, you're going to be in this constant state of hypervigilance. Your mind has to be completely occupied all the time. Who's out to get me? There's that quote, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. No, that sounds like PTSD. No, the price of freedom is that you love. You be so innocent and pure and loving like a child that the universe takes care of you. Then you're free and the universe takes care of you. The universe looks out for you. You don't have to occupy your mind with who to watch out for and compete with, and stockpile weapons and whatever. So yes, the life simulation is incredibly convincing in the synchronized detail. So your avatar in the game, your human self, can really feel the effects and need to react. So your spiritual self needs to respond by managing your human's emotional reactions. Let your emotions work for you by expressing yourself in safe ways and spaces. Feel it to heal it. Know thyself. And take a bow. Satisfied actors can go on to new roles. That's what I was saying about an emotion meditation. You satisfy yourself, the experience you were going to have in that belief choice. You step back, you do something kind for yourself, and then you'll be aligned with higher beings you'll start getting ideas, right? Realizations of how to become a better person, like change your life permanently heal. Your life is a bubble inside of the source. Your bubble's inner view screen shows other actors who are playing the roles that they chose in the game of life. What's more, all the life plays are best connected for the balanced reuse of all consciousness. So you will see the people who have some overlap of drama with you. The universe will make use of everyone to show reflections to each other, but they're still real beings. Don't try to own and control anyone else. Your emotions will tune you into who and what you like or don't like. Find your connection with others. Find the message for you and change that state of being in yourself to move on to the next scene that you prefer. You will be safe always if you let the actors in your life come and go easily as you focus on the life narrative of your own life that you choose to enjoy. Love. Love is kindness, cooperation, and caring for a great life together. Many people don't love because love is so vulnerable. Vulnerable means you could get hurt. Asking for love can get us deeply hurt because people say no until we say a yes, until we get a yes. Say yes to yourself. Love yourself enough to be where you are loved. So instead, if people try to be tough and mean, they feel like they have nothing to lose, and they keep going that direction because they've already lost everything. When you choose to be tough and mean, you lose your connection to the source. You will feel alone, desperate. You will go into that survival personality of the negative ego that is the source of all the evil. The negative ego is the archetypal devil who always lies, who always cheats, who always revels in other people's misery. It's not that there's any such devil inherently in the universe. you become your own devil in a reaction of surviving on false beliefs. So when you feel yourself starting to become nasty in that way, and you feel yourself starting to notice and obsess about nasty people and how to control them before they get you, realize like, oh, I must have a false belief that I'm stressing out to survive. So love will fear losing love on the way to gaining a real loved, loving life. But don't worry. See, only love is real, and we make the illusion real with our love. So, yes, love reduces all fears except the fear of loss. As you love and be vulnerable and ask for love and more help, at first you will be more scared than you feel loved. It's like all the fear comes up to be purged. Just work through that. Keep loving. The love will get through to you. There is love out there, infinite love for you. The people that you belong with to be in love together, they are looking for you while you're looking for them. And once you find each other, you will gladly stay in sync by the law of attraction. So you don't have to convince or explain to anyone whose plans are to be happy to include you. You can just meet them naturally and share and grow together starting now. In clear contrast, the people that you clash with are so hard to convince because they never really wanted you. They're looking for some caricature of you to oppose or to please. Many people struggle and manipulate to keep superficial matches in life. You know, like I'm in a body, so I want other people who are in a body. I'm a man, so I want a woman if I'm straight, or, you know, same sex if you're gay. It's like whatever. Like people get very fixated and projecting what they're looking for on other people. Let people come and go, remember. So find the false beliefs that said struggle is a sign of success. No, struggle is failure. Okay? It's those lies that make you hold on to false hopes until you do feel betrayed. But you're not really betrayed if you understand people are just being themselves. Let them be themselves. You know, let people show who they are, be glad for that, and move on. Don't hurt yourself more than you already are hurt by trying to make impossible things work. Don't stick with trying to make the lies work. Start loving yourself in the ways that others never could, because you weren't made for them and they're not made for you. But you're made for yourself. Be perfect for yourself as you self-accept and improve your lifestyle to better self-care. Be the change you want to see in the world for the you that needed that change. As you open the door to more love, then more love will find you. You will discover a basic level of appreciation for the existence of those that you don't belong with. They're examples that you need to see and let go. You can love anyone from the right distance as you turn to seek more of what's better for you. With more love to give and receive, new synchronistic opportunities will come to you. The universe wants you to love. It'll give you more opportunities to love as you learn how to really love. Real kindred spirits will materialize physically because you are also a spirit. You're in a body and they wanted to see you and you wanted to see them. Negativity tends to be very loud and scary by nature because it wants to look and feel like it's a force to be reckoned with when it's actually weakness. You can see how negatively motivated people, they're really just hurting themselves and anyone who believes that they're stuck with them. Take the messages for what not to believe. Strengthen your own values and follow the visions beyond all of that conflict. Incompatible beings will gladly run away from you by the law of repulsion. Yes, that's the thing, law of repulsion. The space that is left by letting go what doesn't belong with you will be filled with the fantastic, generous, magical friends who are calling you to love and live with them. The closest of which are forms of an eternal, infinite you, forms of your own soul. You will meet other lifetimes, your inner child. People often work first with their inner child. They're real, okay? You don't mourn the memories, oh, my lost childhood. Like, get connected with what's eternally there. Your peak moments in life are portals. They are always there for you to expand upon. Time is a sequence of visiting what is always available, to find the choices that grow or shrink your preferred experience. Positive energy is the truths that connect you with more of the love that you really are, while negativity is the lies that cause suffering. One of the biggest lies has been that we must change other people to be safe on planet Earth. When everyone cooperates, then we'll have world peace. Well, good luck with that. I was saying some of this earlier too, so this is what I wrote. The truth is that reality is designed to never all agree, because then it wouldn't show you your honest current range of contrasting options. World peace can never be attained by pushing for external agreements, because that's opposing a simpler, easier truth. Outer peace comes to the inner peace that attracts more diversity and harmony. So what's easier is just develop your own inner peace, and the world will fall in line around you. Because systems around systems with all the parts working together, that's what life is really about. So you run your own system, become the change you want to see in the world, become the kind of person you want to be with, and more of those people will show up. Be more of your own best choices and peak experiences to become more of the real happy self, and more partners in the dance of life will appear naturally. Living, loving universes love to dance with each other to the tune of endless, joyful growing together. So the truth doesn't hurt. The lies hurt. The truth is an elegant structure of how the universe works, and it's not hard to learn, and it applies endlessly to the unique story of your own endless existence. People only thought life was hard because the old lies were impossibly difficult, and they created the pain without end that is suffering. So what doesn't work never worked. What works always worked. The truth is a life without pain that starts a bit rough at first because you got to clean the wounds of the past. You can freak out to see the truth of what's been really going on. But then you've got the hope of actually healing. Now you're not in denial anymore. You're facing the reality that's real. So you clean the wounds of the past, all those old self-destructive survival habits. Your survival habits will calm down. You're sort of powering down your negative ego. Don't be afraid to be a hot mess. You're a mess, and you can be a hot mess. So it's a phrase to me, you're attractively messy. Like people who love you, they're going to love you with your baggage. And your baggage you can carry. Other people's baggage you can't carry. You can't fix other people's problems. You can fix your own problems, though. So don't be afraid to be a hot mess. As you set your best intentions, you backslide sometimes. You go up and down, a little bit of a roller coaster, and you keep catching yourself before things get as bad as they used to be. That's what you notice. Like your negative beliefs are going to say, oh, you're as bad as you've ever been. But no, I caught myself sooner. I'm getting better. And then negative beliefs, they say, oh, you got to be perfect. No, you don't have to be perfect, just improving. Do your best, let Source do the rest. Improvement, the direction, that's what matters in life, going in the positive direction. It's an endless journey of growing positive. You're not supposed to be at a certain level that you're unable to do. Be who you are as positively as you can now, and you will naturally grow. And the next day you'll be even better at being you. So you'll be able to say to yourself, my, how I've grown. You know your own limits when you really care about yourself, and every day is better in the steps of permanent healing. The Source guarantees that you can always learn from the current reality to reach a positive outcome, so you can afford to be vulnerable with yourself. So don't demand that the world be a certain way. Let it be what it is and find the positive way through it, which is very, very vulnerable, right? When I was a kid, there was this cartoon, Mr. Magoo. It was like this half-blind old man, and he would just walk through construction sites and dangerous places, like completely oblivious to what's around him. Something about that fascinated me as a kid, because that's what the universe will do for you. You aren't even aware of everything that's happening around you, but the universe will help you find a charmed life, a charmed path. And all you have to do is focus on your love. Be loved and loving. You will naturally move through, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for the Lord is with me. My Christian upbringing. There are wonderful quotes in the Bible, and that's one of them. It gives you a sense of how you can have a charmed, beautiful life. You will learn from every situation. And if you still have old negative beliefs to get rid of, you do need to see dangerous things in the world, just to give you a reminder, oh, I need to believe good stuff, not let go of more of the bad stuff. So just trust and believe everything that happens in your life is happening because you need to see it. You need to process it. Not because life is masochistic and it wants you to suffer. No, life is full of change. It wants you to make good changes. You got to start from where you are now. So, where was I? Bring in trustworthy others as they show up with the same needs as you. It's a joy to share needs and be the answers to each other's prayers. You will always get what you need. Just in time, when in time, you will get the people you really need. Just savor what you have, because that's where the universe is giving you what you can really grow from. Don't worry about, but I need more money in a year or a month or whatever. It can come if you really savor the moment and grow with what the universe is giving you right now. The more that you drop the old, broken past paradigm with the defenses that were really self-sabotage, the more you will feel deeply satisfied just to be the current you. Expand your bubble of awareness to connect with the best life that you already planned from higher, deeper levels of your own predestined consciousness. Yes, you have a predestined heaven of yourself. The free will is when will you choose to be yourself. That's because love needs to be genuine. Love is not being a robot. Love is not being forced to do anything. The universe needs to know that you honestly choose to be yourself. You honestly choose to be the loving you that you have to give and to receive and enjoy. You get to be yourself. It's the most wonderful thing. So it's never too late to have the most wonderful experiences on earth, starting exactly from where you are now. Don't fake it till you make it. Make it till you're not faking it anymore. You're always good enough. And by nature, you deserve. So be and feel safe to get a real life. You have your own perfect universe inside of you to guide you, exactly because that is what in best moments you already are. Your peak moments, that's the real you, touching that, and then you're learning how to come back into your daily life and how to sustain that. So don't get a peak moment and then try to cling to that. That clinging, that's the source of suffering that the Buddha talked about. Let peak experiences come and go easily because they're always there for you. You're trying to learn how to integrate it, build bridges, let it all connect, find the ways that everything works in a beautiful system. That's the positive path, whereas the negative path is always focused on this shouldn't be, that shouldn't be, that shouldn't. There's no end to trying to cancel culture everything if that's what you live for. So go ahead, try to do something you need today with your full loving heart. Take another step in the love that you are. Something good and eternal will come from everything that you do, because that is the truth that doesn't hurt. Thank you.